So, a lot of us who want to do an MBA in India are looking for a 1 year program, and we typically have 3 to 4.5 years of work. And a lot of us feel that, I want to stay in India, I want to do a 1 year MBA, but I don't have a lot of choices. Why? Because I can typically apply for an ISB or I'm Ahmedabad PGPX, but after that, I have no options. I don't want to do a PGDM or a 2 year MBA. That's why I don't want to give CAT or do an SP Gen PGDM. And beyond IIM Ahmedabad and ISB, which other school should I apply for? So I answer that in this video by talking about a school which is a very, very good backup to ISB and IIM Ahmedabad when it comes to 1 year MBA programs for working professionals who want to make a career in India after giving the GMAT or GRE, right? So this program is IIM-Kozhikode, IIM-K's PGP in Business Leadership. The program requires at least 50% plus in your undergraduate degree, wherever you come from, and at least 3 years of work full-time work after your college. If you have that, then you are eligible to apply for the business school. I'll talk more about the placement packages, the prominent recruiters, the deadlines, and the essays in this specific video. So please watch it till the end. So let's get started. I have my notes open in front of me. So there is a reason why I told you that, it's a very good backup to ISB, because ISB by design is known for consulting placements as well as product management placements. And when I looked at IIM-K's recent placement report, I was pleasantly surprised because out of 60 students who are a part of the program, 48% are placed in consulting roles and 14% are placed in product management roles. The percentages are very similar to what ISB has, which is more than 60% folks going into either a consulting role or a PM role. And in terms of prominent recruiters, you have everybody from an Amazon to an Accenture to a Bajaj Finserv to a Capgemini to Geo to Gartner visiting the campus. So all prominent marquee recruiters, including the likes of Deloitte and KPMG. And when it comes to your average experience before you enter IIM-K's PGP Business Leadership, which is a 1 year MBA, it's 4.5 years, 4.9 years, which is very similar to ISB. So placement packages, when it comes to median figures, median is 25, average is 29, and highest is 44 lakhs per annum. So that's why I said it's a very good backup to ISB. The median package might not be 35, which is what ISB and IIM-A have, but it's very similar to, what you would get after a 2 year MBA from SP Gen, for example. And that's why the average package here is 30, not 35. It's a very good backup. And most of the placements are happening in consulting and PM. And people typically enter the IIM-K PGP BL after 4.5 years of experience, which is very true for ISB as well. Right? So now coming to the deadlines are sooner for this program as compared to other colleges, which typically have it in September or September mid, right? So the first phase deadline typically is towards the end of June. The second phase deadline is typically towards the end of August. And the third phase deadline is typically towards the start of November. And the interviews happen once you have submitted your 5 essays. And in between your interviews and after the first stage, when you submit your 5 essays, which I'll talk about, you have a stage 2 as well, where you have to write 2 more essays, which is your alternative resume as well as your target companies, target roles. But the majority, the hard work is required in the first stage of application submission, because there are 5 essays and the word limit is 500 words, right? So it requires a lot of hard work, introspection, and editing. So if you want to apply for the PGP BL, it's good to apply in phase 1, which is towards the end of June, which means you should start working on your application in April, because writing 5 essays requires a lot of time. In parallel, you will be giving your GMAT or GRE. That's why. Now I have seen, so there is no official range given for GMAT or GRE on the website, but I have mentored folks in the previous year, 2024, who went on to do their masters from IIM-K in PGP BL. I had one mentee who had a 615. I had another mentee who had a 625. I had a third mentee who got through who had a 320 on the GRE, right? So typically you can assume that even if I end up getting a 320 to 324, I have a good chance if I write good essays, and a 615 to 635 is a good score if I write good essays. So it's a very good backup for all of us who might not end up scoring, let's say, a 655 or a 665 in our GMAT and who want to do a 1-year MBA from a prestigious college, right? Now, coming to the essays as promised. Once again, it's a 1-year fully residential program. You get accommodation in the IIM-K campus. But when it comes to the essays are very extensive. They require you to think a lot, and the word limit is also very high. So the first essay is talk about your professional plans, which is your typical goals essay, and explaining why would IIM-K be able to fulfill those goals and what do you expect to get from it. Now, we discussed before that IIM-K is typically known for placements in consulting and product management, followed by general management. So if you're looking to make a career in either of these three domains, it's very suitable for you to say that, let's say I want to make a career in general management. Till now, I've spent 5 years working with Deloitte as an SAP consultant. But going forward, I want to widen my horizons beyond technology and solve problems of all types, spanning sales, marketing, operations, and finance. And in general management, you have a lot of recruiters in the PGP BL. You can take their names as well in the essay. But this essay will be a culmination of my previous career track with Deloitte as an SAP consultant, how I got excited about general management and why that is my goal, and how the IIM-K PGP BL specifically will be best suited for me to fulfill my goals with respect to its faculty, its electives, its international immersion, its student clubs, right? So you should do your research and then talk about your career trajectory, your goals, the gaps that you have, and how IIM-K will help you plug those gaps. So this is your typical goals essay. The remaining essays require you to be a little more introspective about yourself. So that's why they are difficult, which is the second is it's describe your current job responsibilities and state the knowledge and skills you have acquired from this experience. So if Sarthak has worked for 5 years as an SAP consultant with Deloitte, he should not recount the whole of the 5 years. The essay wants him to talk about his current responsibilities. So if, let's say, in his current role, Sarthak is leading a team of SAP consultants, or if he's directly interfacing with clients on a day-to-day basis, he should bifurcate or branch his essay into stakeholder management. Then he'll talk about where he managed stakeholders, talk about a specific project or anecdote. Second can be leadership, where he can talk about training or mentoring folks. So if it's a 500-word essay, Sarthak should at least talk about, I believe, 3 to 4 headers, which is the different kind of roles he has played in his current avatar, right from managing employees to interfacing with stakeholders to problem solving, or let's say data analysis in his current role. And back everything that he's saying with a specific project or anecdote or outcome. And Sarthak has to make sure that whatever he has mentioned in his first essay, which was his career trajectory till date and goals, should not intersect or coincide with what he's writing in the second essay. There should be no repetition of sorts. So different projects in the second essay, different projects or summary in the first essay. A lot of people make this mistake. The third essay is about describe your strengths and weaknesses as identified by you. Once again, 500 words. So I believe you should do two strengths, 2 weaknesses. So if Sarthak is saying that hard work or resilience or extreme ownership is a strength, that's perfect. But Sarthak should back it up by an anecdote or project or a crisis that he averted. And it should not only be related to Deloitte. If Sarthak led the economic society or the placement cell of his undergrad college, he can bring that up as well in one of the strengths or weaknesses. And when you're talking about weaknesses, please don't disguise strengths and weaknesses and then call it your weakness. Don't say, my weakness is I take up everything on my plate. That's not a weakness, that's a strength, right? So please keep that in mind. And when you say that, let's say your weakness is you can't confront others with feedback when you have feedback for them, and this is something that happened in one of your projects when you joined Deloitte, and because of which you had to do everything on your own because you could not give feedback to your contemporaries. Let's say that's the problem. Try to mention on how you're trying to overcome this weakness. That's very important, right? So 2 strengths, 2 weaknesses. And fourth essay is, what is your most significant accomplishment till now? Now, since it's a program designed for folks who have 3+ years of experience, I would recommend you to focus on professional endeavors or expeditions or achievements, whether it's you winning the applause award in Deloitte. I won this award out of a cohort of these many consultants, and this is why I won this award. You recount and recap and repaint the whole project, the complications which happened, and how did you circumvent or navigate through those complications, because it's a 500-word essay. But one of my mentees last year, since we had already mentioned virtually all of his projects in the first and the second essay, and the third essay, which was Friends, we ended up mentioning about his weight loss journey in this fourth essay. And the interview panel liked it because they had already read a lot of his professional accolades in the goals essay and in the current responsibility essay and the strengths and weaknesses. So if you have had a very profound personal journey or crisis through which you have overcome, be it helping somebody who was medically ill in the family, or be it getting a peer or a parent or a friend out of a financial jam, you can talk about it if it was really close to your heart, right? But it should merit 500 words. Don't pick a situation which will be wrapped up in 200 words. Pick something which had a lot of challenges and twist in between, right? And you will talk about, this was the achievement, this was the complication, this is how I overcame those complications, and these were the learnings. 4 paragraphs. And the last essay is, what are your hobbies? So I think 500 words are there, so you can easily talk about 3 hobbies, whether it's horse riding, whether it's reading, whether it's graphic design, whether it's artificial intelligence. Whatever you write, please keep in mind that you will be asked about these hobbies in the interviews. So don't write something which you are naturally not affiliated to. If it's books, talk about books, authors, when did you start reading, how did you evolve this hobby into a lifelong passion, and what did you learn from reading so many books, for example. So at least 3 hobbies should come. Right, so these are the 5 essays. That's why I told you it takes a lot of time to write these 5 essays, because each essay is 500 words long, and the first 3 essays are very fixated on your professional career track. That's why there is a lot of chance of repetition of projects. That's why take your time, introspect, start early. The first phase deadline is towards the end of June. Start preparing for your essays in April in parallel to your GMAT or GRE, and then apply as soon as possible. And I hope this video was helpful. I hope you give IIM-K a chance, because frankly, I was surprised by the kind of placement statistics and the recruiters and the sectoral hiring percentages. And yeah, I'll see you very soon.